Nick, we're back at it. We got an S3 in the bay. What do we got going on? Actually, you were very excited about this one. I think there's a lot of things going on to this thing.
Well, this is basically everything you could do for a max power wise without building the motor.
Okay.
So for all you Golf R, S3, A3, GTI customers that basically want the most power out of your car, which is right around like 500 to 550 wheel.
Yep.
This is everything you're gonna do before you don't want to spend the money to build the motor.
Okay.
Because 500, 550 wheel is the breaking point on should I build the motor or not build the motor. So we're gonna go ahead and show all the parts on the table. Then we're gonna get going with the install.
Let's get this stuff on box.
I think we're gonna go from like, what are we gonna go from, like 300 wheel?
220?
220.
Yeah, 220 to 520.
This is not your M2.
All right, Nick, before we get into the unboxing table with all the new parts, what's currently done to the S3?
So on the S3, you have a factory IS38. So he has the IS38 turbo.
Okay.
It's probably like a stage 2 car. So you have intake downpipe turbo is stock. So intake downpipe, and we flashed this with a UM tune, engine and DSG. So we already put it on the dyno and saw what it made. We can go get the numbers, but what's gonna be cool is this already ran on the dyno stage 2. So then by putting all these parts on and running it on the dyno and tuning it with Jeff, we're gonna see the difference between all the parts and what it already was making for power.
Sweet.
So it'll be pretty dope.
Perfect. Let's get into it.
Canada, Kit Kat Chunky Drumstick. You know what that's from? Canada. My aunt went to Toronto and got this for me. Canada don't have it like we got it. They got it. Oh, with the drumstick flavor? Wow.
All right, Nick.
Hey, how's it going?
What's the update? I know we've been doing a teardown, compression test. We had a lot going on.
So we have everything off the valve cover. Okay. We have the manifold off. We've done the carbon cleaning. The turbo is ready to come off. Fuel lines are out. Basically, everything's out. Now, tomorrow morning, we're gonna come in. We're gonna take this turbo off, put the new turbo on, put the manifold on with the MPI, button everything up, and then we're gonna wire in the flex and the MPI into the ECU. Getting a teardown video and stuff like that, you guys really know how to do that and stuff like that. So when we're installing the new parts tomorrow, Tyler, get a little video of that, you know?
Awesome.
But the only thing that we wanted to do that I don't think we can do because we're running out of time, number one, number two, I forgot to order. He wanted the valve cover powder coated satin black with yellow blood splatter. I can't do that because I can't overnight the new bolts. I could get them from Volkswagen, but they come silver. And so obviously all silver bolts on black is going to look bad. So what I could do is order the black ARPs. The black ARPs I can't overnight at this time. So what we're gonna do is, that's just a cosmetic thing.
It is.
That's looks.
Yep.
We're gonna get the car running, driving, tune it, make a number. Everything is gonna be done. And then at that point, I'm gonna text them and be like, hey, do you wanna leave it for another day or two? And we'll powder coat the valve cover. Or just, you know, next oil change, just, you know, let me have the car for, you know, 24 hours and we'll have powder coat that valve cover and put that cam cover back on, you know?
Sweet.
So it's really, it's just a look thing. It's not really anything like that, but we're running out of time as tomorrow's Thursday. You know, we started this yesterday.
Thanks, Nick. How do you feel, Nick?
It's really hot.
Okay.
You know, like, it really
So listen,
hot.
we finish off the day with a good teardown, and tomorrow we're gonna be putting parts on.
I'm gonna put this in the air. Make sure Block A or make sure nobody drives this car, obviously, or gets in it or starts it. I'm gonna probably go hide the keys.
Obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're so stupid that they'll pop open the hood and look at the valve cover and see the cam and just be like, oh, I could back it outside.
The next day.
All right, Nick, we're back. Happy Thursday. We left off with the stock turbo in there.
Yeah.
And it all torn down, and now you got the new one in there.
Yeah, so the Vortex XL is in there. We're buttoning everything up.
Did you end up getting a new inlet for it? Or you?
We're gonna use the old inlet because
okay.
Yeah, the old inlet works perfectly fine. You know what I mean? And then if he gets the adapter, he could always run that new intake. But the old intake and the new intake are basically pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't need it.
How you feeling?
It's hot. We don't have AC.
A lot of shops don't, fortunately.
What'd you just say?
I said a lot of shops don't.
A lot of shops do.
Unfortunately.
A lot of shops do have AC. I have AC in my garage.
That's a garage.
This is a garage.
It's a shop.
I have AC in my shop.
Nick?
Hey, buddy.
How we looking?
Well, we're opening this up because this has some hardware that we're going to need. So, what we're going to do here is put the MPI in.
Oh, we're getting crazy.
We're getting crazy, baby.
Guys, a little heads up before we get into this. I will not be here tomorrow. So Justin will be filling in for filming, so we'll see how that goes, right, Nick?
Right, Tyler.
And vice versa, Nick will be filming Justin.
Right, Tyler. So, we have the European manifold right here. And the European manifold is basically the same manifold as the US spec has, except there's holes here because the factory one has MPI. So we're going to be putting the MPI rail in with the injectors. And then putting it in here. Right now, that's the only thing that's left. Right now we have the turbo kit in, the heatsink coil packs.
Yep. Which the yellow looks great.
Yeah, and like I
we were
said,
just talking about you.
He wanted this matte black with yellow splatter. We're gonna do that next time.
Cool. Yeah, because
why are you talking about
I was
me?
telling the viewers that you'll be filling in for filming Nick tomorrow, and vice versa. Nick will be filming you.
Hey, are these gonna pop out of the MPI rail?
Hey, don't make me look stupid
On the Lambo?
on the camera.
I won't. You can't look stupid.
I'll leave that for you.
Am I filming him tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't hit the floor.
One eternity later.
Nick, we're back.
Hey, Tyler.
What do you got going on?
So,
Sorry, I was away for a little bit, but we're back.
we had a little bit of a problem.
Okay.
So, I finished the car on Friday.
Yep.
And we were going to start tuning it on Friday. So, basically, we finished it, but then all of a sudden, like, the car wouldn't, like, start and run for some reason. It was overfueling. It was having a problem.
Okay.
So we're trial and error, you know, going back and forth with Jeff from UM, and Jeff was like, dude, I got everything right on the file, but it's just dumping fuel. So for ha-has, I snipped the power wire. I snipped the power wire off the EQT harness.
Okay.
And the car ran. So basically either Jeff had the file wrong, or there was a problem with the EQT harness, an internal short that was causing the injectors to dump. So what we did is, at least we got the car to run by taking this off.
Right.
I came in today and tested basically a couple theories. What I did is EQT wanted us to flash the car to completely stock.
Yep.
So that it wasn't running an MPI tune at all or anything like that. So we did. The car started. I had to put the stock map sensor in, but the car started up and ran.
Sweet.
And then what I did is I would tap the power to the MPI harness and the car would shut off again. So because it would shut off again, it's just dumping fuel.
So there's something internally.
So
wrong with
EQT's
this.
harness is a little different from my harness.
Yeah.
My harness grounds, I mean, it's just for the flex sensor, but my harness grounds to the chassis ground. EQT's harness grounds to the chassis ground down there. So just to eliminate it, you know, UM said, you know what, just take this ground from here, run it right to the battery, and try it again. So we started the car up. The car ran beautifully. As soon as I tapped power to the harness, the car dumped fuel and shut off. So that basically goes ahead and shows me that somewhere internally in this harness, there's a short, there's a problem,
Right.
where basically the injectors are grounding somehow and just dumping. So what we're doing now is we're installing my my personal MPI harness,
Okay.
which is very similar to Precision Raceworks, just changed a couple things with like wire quality and grounds and stuff. But we're going to run my wires, you know, back into the ECU. I checked all the pins and all the pins are right, so we're just going to wire those in directly.
Sweet.
Right now we're hooking up the injectors. We're going to hook up flex fuel, signal wire, and we're going to wire that into the ECU and start it.
Time for the cold start.
And when it starts and runs, again, we're going to tap the power wire, and it shouldn't shut off. If it shuts off, we have a huge problem because it just wouldn't make sense at that point.
Right, right.
But if it doesn't shut off and it runs, then obviously we just had a problem with that EQT harness. And you know, we're all human. Robots don't make those harnesses. Humans make them. We're all human. People make mistakes. As long as EQT will give them his money back for that, I think it's a fair deal. You know what I mean?
Sweet.
So let's go ahead and finish installing my harness.
Get this done and then we'll get a cold start.
Yes.
Sounds good, Nick. Love you.
I love you too.
All right, Nick. What did we find out?
So basically, we found out there is actually a problem with the harness. We went ahead and wired in my custom harness.
Yep.
And wired in and running. The car does not stall or ground all the injectors and flood the car. So there is an internal short in EQT's harness, which is unfortunate, you know, because I'm sure the batch of harnesses that were made, other customers are going to see this too. But like I said, we're all humans. At the end of the day, hopefully the customer could get their money back for the MPI harness from EQT, and you know, and that's it. But
Is it time for everyone's favorite part, Nick?
yes, we're gonna put the stock airbox in, and we're gonna get a cold start. We're gonna go down to the gas station, put like we're gonna just put 2 gallons of pump gas in it. Then we're gonna get on the dyno, and we're gonna start tuning it, and we should be done today.
Get a cold start.
Let's do it.
All right, Nick. We're all tightened up.
Yeah.
You know what time it is?
After something that wasn't even our fault. After we had to redo something that wasn't
It
even
happens.
our fault.
It happens.
Yeah, well, it's annoying.
Well, give the viewers a quick rundown on everything you installed again before we get our cold start.
what did we install? We installed RH3 low pressure brushless fuel pump. We installed the racing line catch can. We did evap line and wire tuck, so the factory harness comes over here. We deleted the wiring harness, so we did a wire tuck there.
Yeah.
Did ED5 flex fuel sensor.
Yep.
We did the 034 motor spout heat sink coil packs. We did colder plugs. We did an MPI fuel rail with 925cc injectors. We did 5-bar map sensors, and we did the MPI harness going into the ECU. And we can't.
Big old
and we did the Vortex XL as well. And now we're going to be downloading the United Motorsports base file. We're gonna get it on the dyno. We're gonna start tuning it.
Awesome. But first, cold start. Tell him, Nick.
Let me get a cold start.
Cold start. Chris.
Oh,
Cold start. Yell it. Yell cold start. Cold start.
ready for the cold start.
Cold start. Cold start. Cold start. Cold start.
Yeah, cold start. Cold start. No start.
I'd be mad too with 18 comebacks.
Will it start?
Cold start.
POV cold start.
Almost cold start.
Cold start! Cold start! Alright, Nick, we're back at it.
Guys, this S3 is gonna be the death of me.
We're almost done though.
So you guys remember the short in the harness that messed
Yep.
up a couple things. So it shorted out everything that's boost related. So basically we had to put a new wastegate actuator in it, new map sensors, new T-map sensor. But the only thing is, we started up the car and all the codes were gone except for one. Intake manifold runner flat position. It was stuck closed and the sensor had an impossible, the sensor over here had an impossible signal. And what was weird is, because I'm doing a full engine build right now on a Mark 7 GTI.
Yep.
I had a spare sensor and I was like, you know what, let me put the sensor in, right? So I put the sensor in and it didn't fix the problem. The brand new manifold that this kid bought, basically, you know, is vacuum controlled right here. When the valves open like this, you see this arm move?
Yep.
I hooked up the car's vacuum system to this and Brett blimped the throttle. And when he blimped the throttle, the wastegate moved. So the car side, the sensors and everything on the car side is working fine. The brand new intake manifold that he bought is internally jammed. Like the mechanism is not working.
Because of the short.
No, that was a mechanical.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we went ahead and I have my own intake manifolds too. So I went home and got a new intake manifold for my basement. Put it on. I have MPI manifolds in stock. So I went ahead and put a new manifold on.
Sweet.
The valves are working. Everything's working. Every code is gone.
Awesome.
So right now we're going on the dyno and we're gonna start tuning it with Jeff over at United Motorsports, and hopefully we can hit 500 today.
Let's do it.
Hopefully we can actually just make it around to the dyno today.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Tyler.
Nick, S3 is on the dyno.
S3's on the dyno. Basically, this car has been with us from the start, so
Yeah.
we have stock numbers
Sweet.
with parts installed though. So for we have stock numbers and what it ran stage 2 United Motorsports. So stage
Awesome.
2, the car made 350 wheel and 350 torque. And stock it made 296, 291. The reason why it made 296 stock, that's a little bit higher than stock, is because it already had intercooler. That's obviously an IS38. It had intake, exhaust. So even though without a tune, your numbers are a little higher just by adding those parts, just
Sweet.
a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with the tune though, 350, 350.
Cool.
Jeff's ready to go, so we're gonna get a couple of pump gas runs, start mixing flex in, and then hopefully at the end of the day we finish up around E60, E65.
Sweet.
And hopefully we could get like 495 out of this car, 500.
Yep.
Let's see.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Meanwhile.
Hey, Brett!
Hey, Nick.
Tyler's not here right now, so
You're
you're gonna
right.
have to film the last pull on this car.
Let's do it.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, guys, Tyler left, not saying a little early, he left on time. Right now it's currently 8 p.m. on a Friday, and I just finished this car, and I want to give you guys on YouTube the last clip because Tyler's not here. So everything's all buttoned up. This is the whole build. I'm sure Tyler explained everything that we're doing to it, but the final numbers on stock motor, we are done, and we hit our 500 goal, and here we go. So we got 500, come on baby, 503 wheel horsepower and 423 foot-pounds of torque. Torque is nice and smooth all the way through, and the horsepower is all the way up top, where the 5 range is. So we're finally done, and let's go take it for a test drive.